Hey folks, welcome back. My goodness, that rabbit has got to go. I took calculation of my fence. I've got to have this garden that's closest to my house. It's going to take 500 feet to keep that rabbit out. 500 feet of fence. So I definitely have that. I've got the T-posts. I've got posts that I've already cut. They're in a pile. The T-posts are in a pile. The fence has been separated. But it's going to take a better part of the day. It's trying to get across the road to that new garden. I established a plot up on top of the hill on the right-hand side. There's other places where I've got gardens. So thankfully, my other gardens haven't been hit by anything. So that's really good. So I've got the material. I don't have the time. The time is going to have to be next week. So there's that. But I just got done taking a break. I went in, I grabbed this out of the cooler, opened it up, took a couple of sips, and started watching a video that showed up in my feed. And although I get where this woman is coming from, I understand that when things don't go the way you would hope, you put all this time and effort and sometimes money into something, and then something happens and you basically have to start all over. That's just the way of life, folks. You don't sit and cry in front of the camera. You don't get overly dramatic in front of the camera. No. You put the camera aside. You see what's got to be done, redone, fixed. And then you come up with a plan and then you get busy, right? You don't sit and wallow and cry over it. You got to beat the odds, folks. Nothing goes your way all the time. And if you're going to be defeated over something that goes wrong and you're going to wallow in your own self-pity, well, then that's on you. Some of us say, okay, well, that didn't work, or I've got a rabbit issue. I need to fix it. You know, I've had to replant a few things. I had to replant all my cabbage, folks, but they're early cabbage. They're only like, some of them are 45 days, some of them are 65 days, right? I've got plenty of time. So I just threw the seeds back in the soil. Was I disappointed? Yeah, I was, because I wanted an August cabbage, right? I just wanted an August cabbage. Well, now if I want an August cabbage, I've got to go buy one at the store. So you don't wallow in your own self-pity. You figure it out and you make it work to the best of your ability. And if it still doesn't work, sometimes things just don't work out. That's just the way life is, folks. So I replanted a couple of bean plants. Plenty of time. I planted my cabbage, and the kohlrabi that was eaten by the rabbit, it was started coming up pretty good. But it doesn't like this heat that's coming up. This is the projected heat that is expected next week. Here's a picture here's a snapshot of what's coming next week. So I'm going to wait until later in the season, plant my kohlrabi seed because they like cool weather. But I want my cabbage, so I started some more cabbage seed in the ground. I took half cut off 5-gallon buckets and I put them around the plant. I put them around where I planted and put it's a plastic green snow fence on over it. So when it does come up, it can grow for a little bit and the rabbit can't get in and eat them. So when I have to take that fencing off, hopefully the rabbit will be gone. But hopefully next week I can get this fence up and completely block my garden off. That's the plan. And I know next week is going to be hot. It's just the way it is. If I want a garden right here in this plot, I'm going to have to fence it up. I'm just going to have to do that, folks. So when the going gets tough, the tough get going. You know, you've heard of that saying, right? Well, there's a lot of us who have that mentality. You want us to fail? Well, you watch. We're not going to fail. And if we do, it's not because we haven't tried everything that we could think of to make things work. You've got to be a fighter in this world, folks. You cannot be someone who has a failure and then gives up. You've got to have more fight than that, folks. You just do. And that's how you learn, too. Problem solving. Okay, well, that didn't work. Okay, let me try this. This might work, and you might have to tweak that idea a little bit if you have a well thought out plan. Now, thankfully, I have enough fence. Thankfully, I have enough posts. Thankfully, I have enough T-posts. And thankfully, I have a brain and the tenacity to get things done. So, next week, also, what was already on the agenda is rebuilding my outside shower. Now, for those of you who have followed me from a very long time ago on Facebook, you know that I have an outside shower. It has, an LP5 propane heater. But I had to give that up because that year my well went dry, and I haven't even done anything with that well since. It's not dry now. It hasn't been dry for about 3 years. But I don't mind hauling my water, folks. I do it in the evenings or very early in the morning when it's nice and cool. I take my time and I haul my water. So that's been working just fine. Just because it gets tough doesn't mean we give up. Doesn't mean we sit down and have a good cry. It doesn't mean we whine and make it all dramatic and let the whole world know that something didn't go your way. No, we find a way to make it work. We pull up our big girl pants and we get things done. Whether it's in the heat, even if it's supposed to rain all next week, I would still be working on fencing that garden in. I would still be working on my outside shower. So here's the top of one of the 2 water barrels that were just given to me by a lady that loves me very much. She's an older lady and she just loves to dote. So this is, let me show you. You got a spout that's about 14 inches up, and then you've got a bottom spout, and it turns like that. I just got done draining it, folks. And then there's one down below, and I just got it on cinder blocks. But let me show you what it says on the side. Here we go. It says, warning, always securely attach lid. To avoid drowning, do not drink water. That's like getting coffee at McDonald's and them having to put caution, contents very hot when you get a cup of coffee, right? The world seems to think that we don't have common sense. We don't understand that hot coffee is hot, that it might burn you. But there we are. There we are. In this world, there we are. Do not drink contents of that water barrel because you might drown. Do not drink. Be careful of coffee that you get through a drive-through, hot coffee, because you might get burned. The common sense needs to pick up, folks. 3 times I am not kidding, folks, 3 times last week, someone was telling me something, and 3 times I heard, thank you for thinking for me, because they gave me something that they were going through, and I'm like, well, this is what I would do. Why don't you da 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 da? And they said, whoa, I didn't think of that. Well, thank you for thinking for me. That is the problem. People are not thinking for themselves. They find it easier to run a problem by someone else and having someone else use their noggin and their common sense to give them what may or may not work for them. They didn't have to think very hard. They've got a problem and somebody else solved it for them. If they were alone in this world and had to think for themselves, it would be awfully hard. The human brain, and I've said this before, the human brain is melting, folks. The TV, the radio, a lot of these news apps tell you what to think. You don't have to think for yourself. They tell you what to think. And then if you're a non-thinker, they tell you, I'm supposed to be mad about this, so I'm mad about this. You need to stop and think, well, what's their agenda? Why are they saying it this way? What are the adjectives that they are using? We're in a whole world of hurt, folks. The longer I am living this lifestyle, the more that I am learning, the more that I understand that it's up to me to get things done. It's up to me to problem solve. Do I run ideas through other people if I'm stumped? Yeah, obviously I do, but not until after I have covered all the ideas that I have come up with in my head or have tried, right?